What a glorious run from the little Portuguese. Now Cancelo in toward Jesus and Alfie Farrell. Well, that's wonderful. I mean, it seems to have really got the home support going behind their team, but Bernardo Silva, really slick. I must admit, Peter, when I saw Foden get in that position, I'm thinking we're going to see the dink. He's going to lift it above Alisson as he came out to smother it, but he didn't. That's it. Free out by Walker for Jesus. He's asking Foden to have another run. Giving Milner a shove in the back. But just enjoy this. Just enjoy this. Yeah, I mean, Henderson was the one who lost it, and he thought he was going to get it back there. I think he might have just got a foot on it, but Bernardo Silva kept going, and then this is just an incredible run, amazing run. And then you've got the incision to find Foden. Yeah, and he drove it. It could have been lifted. Bernardo Silva reminded me then of the best player at school. He got the ball and dared you to try and tackle him. He had the whole playground at his feet. He couldn't get the ball back. You sound a little jealous. You didn't have those skills. No, you can leave little out of that. That's it. Yeah, but I mean, I said it before, I was expecting something more helter-skelter from Liverpool. I think Liverpool have been very tentative so far. Onto it, Salah's arriving, Cancelo had to be wary, Milner catch with Foden. 14 years between those two. Oh, and James Milner still thinks he's 21. Exactly, I was going to say, in his head, he still doesn't realise it. Jurgen Klopp looks really agitated. Didn't get it. Trent Alexander-Arnold is the big absentee for Liverpool today, of course. As he was for the Champions League game in the week, and as he will be for England over the coming couple of World Cup qualifiers. No disrespect at all meant to the excellent James Milner, but it's not quite the same without him. Cancelo is running into Milner's territory now. Clever ball for De Bruyne. The same angle there as Cristiano Ronaldo yesterday. Well, I'm sure Jurgen Klopp would love to be seeing that kind of football at the other end. That's what Manchester City have, the precision and the quickness of play once they get into the final third. Some lovely movement. Again, the angle is very tight. It's not an easy chance for De Bruyne, but it is another chance. Step for Liverpool now. They've got to start engaging the front three more. Stand at Anfield is the next to be built further upon. Ground plans and indeed plans which are in the process now of being executed. Building work outside the ground. This place is going to get even bigger and louder. to now as midfield expands is somehow keep the same ambience. Not always achieved. It's a terrific architectural success so far. The expansion of this famous old ground. Yeah, headed for over 60,000. Jesus. Walker, Rodri. Jota. There's work to go on, and has a free kick, and Diaz has a card. Yeah, and Diaz has left, I think, complaining to Paul Tierney about the fact that he was fouled first. But Jota, he slipped, and then as Jota tried to get away, he put his arm across him. And I think Paul Tierney has every right in issuing a yellow card on that occasion. A pair of Portuguese men at war. It's a slip by Diaz. It's not a foul by Jota, but it is a foul the other way. So City who profit in the end from all of that. Jesus. Robertson then back in for more. And Liverpool with a very cheap corner. And the game's got the bite it needed. And you know, it can only take something like that to just generate what you're listening to and spark something better from the home side. Clock comes to life. Surprisingly indistinct first 25 minutes or so from Liverpool. But now perhaps a bit of something. In by Robertson, out by De Bruyne. Milner. Alisson. Oh, that's a lovely pass, and Milner's let it get away. That's the difficulty when you're on the run, trying to get the right touch. And again, it was slightly heavy from Milner. Towards clearance. Grealish came to make it good. Bernardo Silva, Grealish. Foden. Ball passing Henderson. And space occupied only by Alisson. He was asking too much of De Bruyne then. But again, you know, you're seeing more threat from Manchester City in the fact that they're able to do that, just go past somebody. And okay, the end product wasn't there on that occasion, but they've looked the more dangerous. Coaches straying out of the technical area, and both are constantly redirecting things. Yeah, hard one to take. And look, the apology now, because Klopp was having a go at Alisson over the kicking. Well, the coach entirely satisfied, clearly. Henderson touching. Yeah, he's given the assistant a right mouthful. Jota. offside. Excellent game so far. Yeah, well, it is more so for Liverpool. Just Jurgen Klopp knows it as well. There's a frustration there. He knows that his team is out of sync. He was honest, wasn't he, this week, Jurgen Klopp? The Bond question. Now at the moment he looks a little shaken as well as stirred. Never say never. Liverpool got it from very deep. Yeah, and just a little glance at the attempts as well, which, you know, as we mentioned, Peter, was in the visitors' favour. De Bruyne for Foden. Milner's labouring back. Contact with Foden. That will be examined. Clearly, he's had to do a water goal kick. And Liverpool have taken it quickly before any questions can be asked. Now Cancelo. So it wouldn't have counted. And Phil Foden is still inquiring about the penalty. The check is complete on this. Yeah, James Milner getting across. I think it's one of those that just decided that it seemed the initial contact was side to side and maybe outside the box. There's a line issue here as well. Yeah, I mean, James Milner, once he realised he was making some sort of contact, he did his utmost to pull away from it. And perhaps Phil Foden should have been a bit quicker in going to ground. Mike Dean being engaged by Pep. That one's been in goal. Jota. Free kick against him. Foden still boiling. Have a look where this happened. Outside the box, isn't it, that first contact anyway? Yeah, I think it is. And yeah, I was beginning to think that Milner was doing completely the wrong thing, but he realised that and withdrew. Foden to worry Milner again. Milner stayed with it. But typically, Peter, that Manchester City, we said it when we were doing the lineups, that they in recent times have always found what they thought was Liverpool's weakness down the right side of Liverpool's defence. And again, you're seeing a bias from Manchester City with Foden, particularly on that left-hand side. And Milner's the focus of the attention on this occasion, of course. Bernardo Silva. Foden. He was hurtling in and didn't really establish any control over his header. Well, that's just ridiculously easy for Manchester City to be able to work this. Phil Foden is in line, but he's got all the time in the world to get the cross in, and I'm sorry, but Kevin De Bruyne has got to be getting over that. That is a bad miss. Guardiola was nodding it in. Well, Pep's reaction more just saying, I would have put that away. For Rodri for De Bruyne. Sort of got a heel on it, and now Jones can carry it. Jota, Mane wide. Jones through the middle. Robertson charging up too. And here is Robertson. Step back for Henderson, who's side to back up, and now the crowd goes. Yeah, Andy Robertson had just moved a little too quickly and was in an offside position. thought we'll get there first. It's the most efficient Manchester City defence, which is ticking up towards 9 hours of Premier League football without conceding. Forward, Matip on that occasion. Fabinho dropped in at centre back. Of course, coming into this is the only unbeaten team in the Premier League. Unbeaten in the last 10 of last season, the first 6 of this. It's self-evidently the longest sequence in the league right now.
His feet to Van Dijk. He finds Matip now just about the halfway line. Now over halfway. Grealish doesn't really chase after him. Matip keeps on going. And he found a gap, but he ran out of talent somewhere near the opposition box. Liverpool do get it back though, and will try and work it. And all of a sudden, they look a bit shy and retiring, Liverpool, where before they were gung-ho going forward. Now it's like, ooh, you know, we don't want to get forward that much because we might have to be defending soon. And yeah, it seems very different what Liverpool are doing right now.
Yeah, City have had the answers at both ends of the field, haven't they? They've opened Liverpool up on the attack with Grealish and Foden and Jesus. De Bruyne are all causing problems. Bernardo Silva in that category as well. And then defensively, they've just been too strong. I was trying to think a moment ago when you were talking of any time we've really seen Mohamed Salah, Sadio Mane get in behind and ask serious questions of the Manchester City defence, and it just hasn't been the case. Diogo Jota as well, another that hasn't been able to influence things in that final third. City have had their number all over the pitch.
They have, and here's another opportunity, and again it's Foden, left-hand side. He's got Van Dijk holding him up inside the box. He opts for the cross, the far post. He might break for Jesus, but he's right through the back of the box there to De Bruyne. His shot off balance was never going to reach the back of the net, but again it was an opportunity as Mane now gets the run on Rodri. Rodri keeps going. I thought challenge through the back of him there, but the referee's not giving it. It's with Man City. Walker gets it out of his feet, finds Bernardo, clips a nice little ball inside Cancelo. He's going to have for Grealish on the overlap if he needs him. He's all right foot though, and so it's more natural. For him to look behind, goes to Bernardo, ball goes one further, and again the halfway line, and then Walker, and Walker's decent ball forward out to the right, then for Jesus, dabs it forward to De Bruyne, puts the cross in. Milner gets there first ahead of Foden, but it was 2 against 2 in there when that ball was in, so never mind them being like they've got to play more at the minute. As Cancelo's on the ball, finds Bernardo, and then back into the middle of the park. Rodri gets it out of his feet, and Curtis Jones keeps running after it, but he's not going to get that ball. And City just dominating play at the minute. It's a great ball through the middle there. Bernardo forced to go backwards, then Rodri sweeps one out to the right. They've got spare plays everywhere, and he's Jesus again. An early ball into the box. He's headed up in the air. Will break to Grealish, nod it back to Cancelo. So the citizens are here making themselves at home at Anfield as Grealish picks it up, right foot, nice ball to Cancelo, edge of the area, stabs the ball in, looking for Bernardo, but he can't find him. The red shirts can come away, but again a pocket picked, and Mane had a nanosecond on the ball before Jesus won it back off him. And again it's domination now by Guardiola's side. Grealish on the ball, chips it out of his feet to Diaz. Good ball. Rolls the ball to the edge of the box. Grealish turns, but Matip reads it. Takes the ball away from him. Counter attack is on. And but they're snuffed out there. Mane takes it off Jota. Mane can't find Salah, and City have it back. They're dominated, Bobby.
They're all over them, aren't they? It's really swung in Manchester City's favour. Probably after 15 minutes into this game, they've been the side on top. They're preventing Liverpool from any type of counter-attack. Time after time, they win the ball back, and it's wave after wave of attack.
Here again, Jesus, who has played pretty well down that right-hand side. You know, they've got good options on the bench as well with Mahrez, and I really like Ferran Torres. I think he's going to be a brilliant player. But for the moment, don't need him, do they? Fernandinho on the bench as well. Stones struggling to make their best team, and Fernandinho maybe a little bit long in the tooth. They get around the back again. Here's an opportunity, but the ball doesn't reach Grealish, and that's good defended by Matip. Gets across, and then Jesus goes down a little bit weakly, and that's just going to be a goal kick I fancy there.
Jesus feeling he should have had a free kick, and he's still making some slight complaints towards Paul Tierney as the ball came out wide. Let's take another look at it. I don't think there's much in that. He flicks the ball away, and I think he's expecting a challenge to come from Matip, but it never really arrives, and Jesus throws himself to the floor. But they're just building really neatly on this City. Every time they get the ball, they've got players open and asking for them to receive a pass. They're building in the right areas of the field. They've got width in the fullbacks getting forwards, and wide players in the advanced areas as well. Liverpool just can't get a grip of them. They don't quite know who they're marking, who's going to be in what position, and where everyone's popping up.
It's 0-0, but yeah, they're getting mugged at the minute as Milner drags down his man. He's going to get a yellow card, and that really should be a second yellow card for the penalty or the free kick at the edge of the box that wasn't given. Foden just drags him in there, and it's a good ball to him. Grealish makes sure. First touch absolutely superb, and Milner's going to throw out that clothesline, and he picks up a yellow card for it.
That's what makes it, doesn't it? It's that first touch, and what Foden does so well most of the time is recognise what position he's in and how he's going to receive the ball and where he wants to be going, and he spotted that space in behind Milner. I think the experience of Milner really should have put him in a better spot there. He doesn't need to get as tight to Foden. He's always going to lose a foot race with him if they're starting from the same spot, so just take a half yard off him, and then he can try and make that challenge.
Yep, not used to taking a half yard off, is he? As the ball's rolled into the box and across the box, but nobody can get a touch from Foden's effort. I mean, it's just the quality of that first touch from Foden, which, you know, week in, week out, you're not going to get from most of the players, are you? And it wouldn't only be James Milner foxed by that kind of quality.
He's going to have to stand off him now, though, isn't he? He's on that yellow card. He's got to be careful for the rest of this game. Probably Foden won't even see the full-time whistle. I expect you'll see someone like a Sterling or a Torres, Mahrez coming onto the pitch as well, so it's probably only going to get tougher.
I think so, and I think I'd have to be mindful there, because he might have got 2 yellows already. Maybe a chance here for Salah, competes for it, but the ball breaks back to Ederson. You know, like I said, they have got Joe Gomez on the bench, who can play at full-back. Might need to drag him into the fray if they're worried about Milner. You know, who might need to drag him into the fray if they're worried about Milner. You know, who into the fray if they're worried about Milner. You know, who into the fray if they're worried about Milner. A good start, Milner, and you know, plenty of endeavour for him to get forward and get round the back. He's a good player, but goes, drags it. Past Alisson, no, right at the edge of the area, now De Bruyne, and eventually dwells too long, but still the blue shirts have it away from the red shirts, and again they're looking for options, but Walker goes back. Now the ball with Laporte over the halfway line. Now Cancelo It's a good looking ball into Foden, who puts the ball across the face of goal. Helped out by Robertson. But they're finishing with a flourish here, Man City, Bobby.
Yeah, lovely weighted ball again. Breaking that line is Foden. Times it perfectly to make sure he's not going to be off when that delivery came from Cancelo. Once more again, you'd maybe say just no one in the middle to go and attack it. Alisson was able to get the slap away and Robertson help it further. But they've been getting closer and closer, haven't they, City? You feel early stages of the second half, we might not be far away from an opener.
Yeah, they were strong, weren't they, last weekend against Chelsea? You know, in what might be a pivotal game in the title race. And again, you know, and that was a game that was a game of fine margins. Here they are again, but they're at Anfield. You'd be forgiven for thinking they were at home. Man City, they're dominating play, and they certainly looked the better team the first half. But don't expect Liverpool to, meekly back out of the game. They'll get talking to at half time. I'm sure they'll sort little technical bits and pieces out. They give them.
Udah nak tembus 1000 pula yang di-share langsung di situ Tadi Persebaya. Ngapa Liga Inggris sepi? Apa Liga Inggris sepi? Ngapa? Tiga. Udah itu baru. Baru dari mana? Lah aja. Itu kan begitu. Lagi break ini. Enggak. Pagi ini. Panas ini ada pemberitahuan. Tapi kalau nggak panas. Coba cek tinggi kok salamnya. Tapi namanya menyerang. Imbang wae kene sarang. Belum ada tadi. Itu bilang mana? Hah? Tadi gambar itu. Dia bilang mana aja gitu. Ini apa yang suka dari gaya tadi kan? Mungkin video. Ada yang tadi di 14. Aku mau dari 40 lagi dulu. Video itu gitu. Nah, gratis. Bagaimana mau pasang ini? Kenapa kan kalau nggak ini tidak ada yang datang? Jadi kali. Artinya baru dia tengah puluh satu nah. Kita laku tuh sini. Ada tadi. Tapi ada di sini tapi di sini ya. Belum memang. Belum keluar. Belum. Nanti sekarang langsung dari kami ngatur dulu. Nah, emas aku. Belum. Kita lihat di YouTube video deh. Apa dia lah? Aku lah teman saya itu mengembalikan video mudah kalian jadi 1000. Awal pernah main nggak sih itu? Pernah main ini. Ya, itu bagaimana? Pegi. Ya lagi ini dah 19 jam ini tahun. Ini itu beda dengan kalau lagu di balik. Itu kira ada kena diri aja. Tapi dia juga nak diri di berapa masa. Awak sebenarnya jadi ini yang lebih nih ayo bang lagi break. Nah, gitu. Oh, ini gini. Lagi break buat babak doang. Apa ini? Yang nak kau boxing set mama ni. Ding. Kau mati kalau gitu. Nanti kami mati. Ya biasa baca berulang. Apa ini nah? Iya nah. Itu biasa berulang ya. Jadi cara kita sampai apa ini? Ini biasa ni. Ini mati. Berapa? Ini saling link ya. Kalau sudah. Ada video yang direkam. Ada lagi. Lagi. Udah boring. Main. Nggak bisa hari ini. Tahu sedikit lagi. Udah minggu ya. Ayo bang, kumpul bang, bentar lagi mau mulai babak kedua.
was in or outside of the box had referee Paul Tierney decided to pull it up. He's also had chances in open play. Ederson denying him. Liverpool just haven't really offered much. 0-0. At half-time, it is Liverpool 0, Manchester City 0, but it's the visitors, City, who have been on top of the opening 45 minutes. Phil Foden, in particular, has had a couple of good chances and possibly should have even had a penalty when his legs were clipped by James Milner. Nothing was given in the end. There would have been a debate as to whether it was in or outside of the box had referee Paul Tierney decided to pull it up. He's also had chances in open play. Ederson denying him. Liverpool just haven't really offered much. 0-0. At half-time, it is Liverpool 0, Manchester City 0, but it's the visitors, City, who have been on top of the opening 45 minutes. Phil Foden, in particular, has had a couple of good chances and possibly should have even had a penalty when his legs were clipped by James Milner. Nothing was given in the end. There would have been a debate as to whether it was in or outside of the box had referee Paul Tierney decided to pull it up. He's also had chances in open play. Ederson denying him. Liverpool just haven't really offered much. 0-0. At half-time, it is Liverpool 0, Manchester City 0, but it's the visitors, City, who have been on top of the opening 45 minutes. Phil Foden, in particular, has had a couple of good chances and possibly should have even had a penalty when his legs were clipped by James Milner. Nothing was given in the end. There would have been a debate as to whether it was in or outside of the box had referee Paul Tierney decided to pull it up. He's also had chances in open play. Ederson denying him. Liverpool just haven't really offered much. 0-0. Half-time, it is Liverpool 0, Manchester City 0, but it's the visitors, City, who have been on top of the opening 45 minutes. Phil Foden, in particular, has had a couple of good chances and possibly should have even had a penalty when his legs were clipped by James Milner. Nothing was given in the end. There would have been a debate as to whether it was in or outside of the box had referee Paul Tierney decided to... Well, we're about to get underway for the second half of this final Premier League game of the afternoon, and last one before we sign off for international duty once again. It is a cracker of a game so far, despite there being no goals. Liverpool 0, Manchester City 0. Citizens will have gone down the tunnel feeling maybe a little bit frustrated after a strong first half performance. Didn't bring about any goals. Was certainly the better of the two teams despite being away from home today. Liverpool no doubt will have had plenty said in their direction from boss Jurgen Klopp about improving in this second period. You can only hope, John, that sort of tempo we saw in the first half continues throughout this second.
Yeah, it's difficult to know where to put your finger on it. I mean, you know, City had a harder game in Europe, that there's no doubt, but maybe they're fueled by the disappointment of that and the need to put things right. You know, equally they've freshened it up where Liverpool were unchanged, and you know, Liverpool were sort of 9, 10 out of 10 in midweek, weren't they? And it was all rolled back then to Ederson, but. And it's difficult to, you know, quite simply put, just to say, right, let's play 9 out of 10 again, or, you know, a 9 out of 10 of 10. It's difficult. Got to rise to the occasion, you know. But City have been the better team, and it's as simple as that. I don't know what they would say to break Liverpool, but just simply that they've got to work harder, you know, to close them down, to close the space down, and they've got to be a little bit braver on the ball as well.
Didn't really supply too much for their front three in the opening 45 minutes. Failed to register a single shot on target, but this second half brings about a few more sights at Ederson's goal frame. It's Ederson, rather Fabinho, who works it out to the right hand side now with Salah down the line for Milner, whose cross is collected by Ederson ahead of Diogo Jota. I'll take you through the 11s then. No changes at the break for Liverpool. It is Alisson in goal, Milner, Matip, Van Dijk and Robertson, Henderson, Fabinho and Jones, Salah, Jota and Mane. Both sides lining up today with a 4-3-3. So City at Ederson in goal, Walker, Diaz, Laporte and Cancelo, Silva, Rodri and De Bruyne, Jesus, Foden and Grealish. City trying to play their way out from their defensive third here, and they've done it neatly to a point. Once they get to the halfway line with Foden, he's stopped by Matip. It looks as though there might have been a foul there on Bernardo Silva, so they'll have the free kick City. Hugging the touchline on that left flank. The Liverpool fans feeling that he'd maybe gone down a little bit too easily there. It did appear there was enough contact, and Paul Tierney felt so. Free kick taken short into Laporte. Across to Diaz, one of two players who picked up a booking in the first half alongside Liverpool's Milner, who was booked for bringing down Phil Foden. Liverpool on the attack now with Diogo Jota, cuts back and tries to create the angle for a shot, but there was Diaz, a rock-solid defender, to deny him, and City now coming forwards on the counter, although that's been slowed as Bernardo Silva has to chop one way and the other. Switch of play gets them back moving with a bit of momentum into Jesus. He's got no one currently in the middle to aim for. He's going to have to recycle this back towards the halfway line with Diaz. That was one criticism of City in the first half. On several occasions when they did get forward, there was just no one in the box between the goal frame in that 6-yard box area where you'd want to see a striker, someone to try and pick out. It always took a while to really get the bodies forward into the penalty area. Grealish tries to break into the box now. That is good defending from Milner, who just ushers it behind for a goal kick. But we're going to look back at that Diogo Jota chance, John. It was a decent opening that he just couldn't quite make the most of.
Yeah, I mean, he's dead unlucky there. You know, it looks like he's going to have that left foot strike. It's a brilliant cut. And then he just can't find his feet in time, can he, to toe poke that to Salah, who would have a brilliant opportunity. And, you know, a miss is as good as a mile, but it was a close-run thing, that. And, you know, Liverpool doing a little bit better again at the start of this half. I'm sure that Klopp would have got stuck into them. They would have ironed out one or two things that weren't going right from that first half. Here they go again. Jota, brilliant turn from him, and a shot comes in, and that's saved by the keeper.
Yeah, parried away, and it had to be headed back to him in the end. We've just seen a stat that showed Diogo Jota had the fewest touches of anyone on the pitch in the first half, and he's probably had more than he expected in the opening stage of this second half. Just 4 minutes in, and he's found himself in and around the edge of the box on a couple of occasions. This time did get the shot away straight down the middle, and Ederson, I think, would expect to save it. The power of it meant it was difficult to hold on to, but did manage to survive. I was surprised that 4 of the 5 players to have had fewest touches in the first half were of a Liverpool persuasion. Jack Grealish, the only City player in that top 5, as it were. Here's Jesus now for City. Infield to De Bruyne. Walker is bursting in behind. Is he going to be able to get around Van Dijk? No, not strong enough. And Robertson helps out by clearing his lines. He'd made the run on the inside of Van Dijk as the ball went round the outside, and always then was going to favour the big Dutchman. Despite maybe not having the pace to cover ground of Walker, he has got the size and stature to put an obstacle in the way. Now Jesus goes down under challenge from Robertson and is less than happy that he's not got himself a free kick there. It is just going to be a goal kick to Liverpool. 5 minutes into this second period, and it doesn't look as though there's going to be any change in the attitude of both sides to go about their business in a firm manner this afternoon. There were some meaty challenges in the first half, all very nice to watch from a neutral point of view. I'm sure there's a few international managers that are just hiding behind their sofas a little bit, hoping that their star players aren't going to pick up any knocks ahead of what could be crucial World Cup qualifiers and some Nations League games over the next few weeks. But the club managers will want that full commitment from their players out there today in a game of this magnitude especially. Van Dijk out to Jones. Back in field to Van Dijk, and City dropping off to the halfway line at the moment. Now Liverpool cross into City territory with Matip, and ball rolled in field to Henderson. Back out wide for Milner. Couple to aim for in the middle. His cross was deflected. Comes out as far as Fabinho, who has to hold off the challenge of Bernardo Silva and rolls it back to the halfway line. Unofficial off-tube studio commentary. Liverpool 0, Manchester City 0. Diogo Jota coming down the left. Used a hand in there, although unintentional, I think. And a free kick is actually going to go against Kyle Walker for nudging him off his feet.
Yeah, did he just kick the ball away from him before he kicked it there? I'm not sure really what happened with that. Let's take another look. I think his first dab at him, he has a couple of dabs at him there. They were both fouls, weren't they? So I don't know how really he can complain.
So a good spot this for a Liverpool free kick. Robertson and Milner, the two over the top of it. It's only a yard or so in from the touchline and almost level with the edge of the City box. So we'll see whether they're going to go for the outswinger or the in-swinger. They've got a crowd of red-shirted players in and around the penalty spot. I've just been told he's got to replace the ball here by referee Paul Tierney. Up goes the signal from the former City man. He does send it into the far post, punched away by Edison. Comes out as far as Jones, sent back towards Salah, but Edison is off his line quickly to claim and then bowls out to Foden. City looking to hit on the counter immediately. Lovely ball out to Jesus, who controls nicely on the chest and cuts infield to get away from Robertson. He sold his teammates short with the pass. Fabinho initially getting there and Jones then taking control of the situation. But Liverpool lose them with the ball inside their own half. Mane is able to make good of a bad situation and Jota carries it on forward. He's got blue shirts all around him but still manages to pick out Salah. He shows too much to Cancelo. Some Liverpool fans appeal for the free kick. Salah made no such appeal and Paul Tierney allows the game to go on. Now it's Grealish and Milner tussling and Milner wins his side the free kick.
Game just a little bit scrappy, isn't it? But that's because Liverpool have upped the ante, really. You know, City have had to drop back, and whereas they were dominating in the first half, they've been pushed back, haven't they? But how long? Whereas they were dominating in the first half. They've been pushed back
to try and settle things down. A little bit. They did grab control, as John said, as the first half developed after a pretty hectic opening period. Where the stats suggested it was even. It looked as though Liverpool were getting the better of their opponents, but City throughout the majority of the first half with a team on top. 10 minutes into this second period, maybe now it's starting to settle once again. Though, as you say, both sides will want to get a goal today. I think a draw is a better result for City than it is for Liverpool. Cancelo is now making his appeals, but he's going to get a yellow card for bringing down James Milner, I think it was, on the right-hand side. A loose ball, and Cancelo clipped the heels.
Yeah, he's running across his back legs there, isn't he? And yeah, you're not really allowed to do that, are you? Miller's really busting the gut to get forward, isn't he? And that's the key. You know, he's pushing them back in this half. We don't really see much of Robertson flying down the other flank, have we? So, I mean, you've got to give a lot of credit here to Milner. He's on a yellow card. He found life difficult, but he's just gone his bike this second half.
It's on the free kick again. Right to the head of Van Dijk. He can only flick it away from goal. Jota back in and through to Edison. Unchallenged, the Brazilian can come and claim it. Yeah, win at Chelsea last weekend, against Chelsea last weekend, and then this game against Liverpool in between the game against PSG. It has been a difficult run of fixtures for City, but I suppose they have to play everyone at some point over the season. It's best to get those games out of the way if you can. They'll have a slightly better running through to the Christmas period before we hit that midway point of the campaign. Their own half. It's changing his mind on that one. Instead goes to Matip. Turn to Milner. This time he will go to Alisson. Needs to get rid sharply with Foden closing in, and his ball to Robertson was a decent one, but the Scot has misjudged it. It's gone out for a Manchester City throw-in. Liverpool fans will hope that this isn't a sign that things are maybe starting to turn against them once again, and the pressure is building against them. It's a Laporte back to Diaz. Henderson is leading the press, but with little in terms of support apart from Mane. He decides to retreat, and that means Edison can try and pick his pass. It's gone over the head of Jesus. The Brazilian's not quite able to link up as they'd hoped, and Liverpool will have a throw. Game over the last few minutes has just lost some momentum. Matip bends one down the right-hand side to Salah, coming back into his own half, lays off, and Fabinho back to Salah, who gets the better of Cancelo, and now he's looking to break away from Bernardo, coming infield, rolls it to Mar.
Dia diam. Ini masuk ke
Jota can have a run and get there as well. It's the second touch. There you see, wins the ball. You've got to be careful in there, Liverpool. In the end, he went down under his own. Yeah, they were clever enough to stay off. Don't dive in. It's City. Like looking across the line, but you have to play to the whistle, unfortunately. Bang! What a touch this was. One onto his right foot. Touches turns to goal for Liverpool at the moment. He's in unstoppable. For a difficult away time. Shifts.
Or a match changer from the bench.
Yeah, there could be. I mean, there's a lot of talent, both the two teams, both strong squads, aren't they? And as we see, Robertson puts the ball in. Just looking at that goal again, Bobby, and I've got to say that there's a real half-hearted attempt for Cancelo to stop Mo Salah. You know, he's right-footed, playing the left-hand side, and what he did was he just did a little sort of leg on his inside. Really poor attempt at a challenge when really he should have just been jockeying and thinking, no, he has got the run on me, but I need to get back at him. That would have allowed then the two centre-backs to cover everything off, but they couldn't. Laporte then got dragged out to left-hand side, and when Mane got the run on Ruben Diaz, who I think took his eye off him really, it just allowed it easy for Salah to roll the ball in. But all that's easier said than done. You know, Salah's, he's running at 90 miles an hour, then he's got to play a fairly straight ball. He had a lot of ground to do it in though, didn't he? And I think it made it easy in the end. But it's poor defending really for Man City, who, don't concede that many, do they, this season? But, ranked bad defending all over the shop, really.
Second goal that City have conceded this term, and their goal is under threat once again as Liverpool have got a free kick. It's just round about 28 yards from goal. The wall has been put half a yard or so inside the box. Henderson, Milner and Salah are over the top of it. It's left of centre. Salah does strike and he tried to get it round the wall, but it didn't come inside the post.
Yeah, no disguise really on that at all, because Salah put the ball down, but on that side it's not really for him to hit, is it? I know he's feeling good about himself because he got 101 goals now for Liverpool, cracking player, and looks like Milner's run his race, but his contribution after the break.
No, it's a corner.
Oh, is it a corner kick? Yeah, so that's where you're getting the applause. But his contribution after the break, I think, has been fantastic, because he was getting duffed up in the first half. It was Foden running at him. Second half, it's been Milner running past Foden, and that's made a big difference.
It didn't look clear when we first saw it, but replay showing Salah's free kick just brushed off Kevin De Bruyne on the right edge of the City wall. There's a word from Walker here with Paul Tierney. Not entirely sure what the debate is about here, but it just delays James Milner's corner kick slightly. Walker's trying to say something has happened twice. Not entirely sure what that is, though. Anyway, the corner is taken short into Jones, who sent it across to Henderson. Milner eventually sends the cross in, but it was chested out by Rodri. City tried to break with De Bruyne, but the ball wasn't great. Henderson was there to cover, and Liverpool retreat back to Alisson, who's got a bit of thinking to do with Foden closing in, but acts cool as often he does and plays a simple ball out. It's a loose ball from Liverpool then, but Mane might almost get there. Puts City under pressure, and they in the end just have to hook it away. Now they can bring a bit of calm and order to the situation as it bounces through to Ederson. Raheem Sterling is going to be the first change from Pep Guardiola. The two have just exchanged a hug on the touchline. Final words of encouragement from the Spaniard to the Englishman, who hasn't often performed at Anfield on his return. Former Liverpool player, of course. He's found it hard to sort of show his former employers what he's all about. We're going to see a yellow card here, I think, for Diogo Jota down on the right-hand side in his own defensive third as he clashed with a City player, and it'll be a free kick for City.
Really necessary that from Jota. The ball's long gone, look, and he late into him there. And it's just stupid, that, isn't it, really? Gives away a free kick, dangerous area. I wonder, who's going to get the hook then for Raheem Sterling? I'm assuming it's Foden. But, anyway, Sterling's on. In fact, it's Grealish who has gone off. He hasn't had this big an impact, but then I like to see him play inside left. I don't know where he was playing today.
Yeah, he's not been able to influence the game. I think neither Foden nor Grealish have done much in the second half, but Foden certainly in the first period was the man who had the chances for City. Foden and De Bruyne over this set piece out on the right-hand side. De Bruyne delivers, headed away by Matip. Cancelo tries to send it back out wide left. It was deeper than Jesus wanted, but he's able to go and claim it. Exchanges passes out wide. In fact, now to go to Sterling instead. His first touches at control and then lay off to Cancelo. Walker will open it up to the right with De Bruyne, but he's under pressure from Robertson. But bounces away to Jota, and De Bruyne tries to get a bit of his own back by putting his body in the way. And City will then clear away from Robertson's cross into the box. De Bruyne chest down to Bernardo. What have City got here on the attack? It's De Bruyne looks across the field and sees Jesus on the left in a little bit of space. He's got Milner for company, tries to get the shots away. It'll bounce through and claimed by Alisson.
Yeah, again, well done by James Milner, just standing off, and he didn't have to put a shift in. It's really hard to dislike him as a footballer, isn't it, Milner? But there just doesn't oversell himself, does he? And he's enough experience now as a right back, but started his career more as an attacking player. Anyway, here goes Salah. Here come Liverpool.
Henderson with the cross. It's too deep for Diogo Jota. Walker will go across to the far side, and there's a bit of a coming together between the two, but it's enough to see the ball into touch. Liverpool are going to respond to Manchester City's substitution with one of their own. It's going to be Roberto Firmino to come on. I'd imagine with Jota having just picked up a yellow card, he will be the one to depart, and the camera then subsequently pans to the Portuguese. So Diogo Jota off and Firmino on.
Yeah, one hard worker for another, but they've both got goals in him. Firmino, he's not starting regularly, is he, this season? He seems to be behind the former Wolves man, but he's a pretty good guy to bring on. And you just get the feeling with Roberto Firmino that it's like, he could turn a corner into good form again at any moment. That desire from him to come on and do something will be palpable, really. But other than that, he's a proper good workhorse.
Ederson with the ball at his feet, flipped out to the left-hand side for Cancelo. Now Bernardo Silva has got Firmino on his heels, but still manages to get the ball away to De Bruyne. Finding Walker, in fact, now it'll run beyond him and to Jesus. Walker's continued his run, but Jesus continues to carry it to Foden on the left. Shot away, and Manchester City are back on level terms. Phil Foden spurned chances in the first half, but he's accurate, precise and deadly in the second. Into the bottom right corner. Liverpool 1, Manchester City 1.
Well, you know, that's a brilliant strike from him. We talked about him before, taking the ball early. Don't let the opposition set. Get your chance and take it. I mean, it's quality football, isn't it? You know, Foden has found the second half difficult. Milner's been attacking him, but what part does Milner play here? When the ball's rolled across to him, I think he'd taken his eye off the prize a little bit. He's unable to block him. And when Foden looks up there, he just thinks, right, I'll take my chance early, but it's a beautiful left foot strike. You know, he's looked up, he knows what's on, but there's no chance for the keeper, and that's into the side netting. A lovely hit.
Well, that's where City having no number 9, I think, works, because Sterling was the one who had sort of drifted across the path of Milner and taken his attention away slightly. Sterling then dropped off the play, and as it went out to Foden, Milner wasn't close enough across to him and didn't manage to get in time to get a block.
Well,
in. So
I think I'll tell you something about that, Bobby. I think you're right, because when Sterling came on, it's like he's gone and sort of had a nudge with Milner. The next thing we see is Phil Foden bringing the ball out from right back, and you think, well, where's Foden playing now?
Yeah.
But again, he crept up on that left-hand side, and you think maybe all that, you know, well, it certainly confused me, but more importantly, it's confused James Milner and the whole Liverpool back four.
Right, well, it's taken us midway through this second half then. We are back to level terms once more. Liverpool 1, Manchester City 1. John will take you to the whistle.
Well done, Bobby. I know he's dying of a cold. But anyway, I think the second half particularly has warmed the cockles, and you can forget about things when you're engaged in a game like this. And it could go either way. Liverpool quite rightly got back into it, having been dominated in the first half. You know, came out all guns a-blazing in the second half and grabbed the goal that they deserved for it with Mane. But City's quality throughout the game has been high, and eventually they've found a way through. And Foden's strike was superb, I think. You know, we talk about them missing a number 9, but they've got absolute quality players. Sterling scores, De Bruyne scores, and we know that Phil Foden has got an eye for goal as well, as Mane does battle with Ruben Diaz, and the ball eventually into the hands of Ederson, but I think there was a free kick. Mane just a little bit late there. Liverpool 1, Man City 1. And at times in the game, you know, it's got a little bit scrappy, but I'll have to say that for the most part the quality's been good, and it's been a proper Premier League encounter. Game played at 90 miles an hour, and it's a wrestling match really. Two teams who want to be dominant figures, who want to bully the opposition. Here comes Salah now. Ball into the box, Firmino holds it up, little turn from him, and well, eventually the ball breaks off Bernardo. What's been given there? Maybe a foul by Firmino, or had the ball gone out for a goal kick? Either which way, Liverpool back off that. I don't know quite what that was, but anyway, Man City have got a chance to get going. The ball just touched to Aymeric Laporte, and Bernardo Silva has got Firmino, but he turns away from him, then drops the shoulder, gets round Henderson, and he keeps on going, and eventually he's brought down. Henderson's telling him to get up, but if that was Milner, because I'm not sure it was Henderson who fouled him, then he's down on a second yellow card.
Pep Guardiola's beside himself, isn't he, on the touchline? He thinks there's a case to be answered to. We'll look at it again. Bernardo Silva's the one who breaks. It's Henderson who makes the first nibble, but Milner who puts that second leg out, doesn't he? He just hangs it out there, and that's a foul. I mean, he knows what he's doing.
Listen, he's making no attempt to play the ball. I like Milner, but that should be second yellow, and he's off. And Guardiola's mad. He's mad about that, and he's saying, "Where's the card? Where's the card? Where is the card, Pep? Because there should be a card." No attempt to play the ball there. And he's the luckiest fella at Anfield today, because honestly, he should have been given his marching orders there.
Yeah, I mean, you made the point he could have been off in the first half. He was lucky not to give away that free kick on the edge of the box to Foden, which should have been a yellow. He subsequently then went on to pick up a yellow later, and that's his third infringement that could have led to a card. There have been further fouls from Milner that have sort of been more casual than you do tend to get away with, but there's three there that all warrant a booking.
Yeah, 3 yellows he should have had. That doesn't make sense, does it? But I think that Klopp's got to bring Joe Gomez on. You know,
the two managers going at it now.
well, Guardiola, he's got a point, and it's all right. He's furious, isn't he? Look at him, he's mad as a wasp.
His coat's off.
He's taking his coat off now, right? That's it, fighting talk. But anyway, he's hot under the collar, and he can't believe it. I can't believe that. You know, titles hinge on something like that, and it's such bad decisions. I can't believe that Paul Tierney's not seen that.
Oh, it was so clear, wasn't it? It's not just a little nibble at someone. The leg was hung right out there from Milner. It's the same challenge that João Cancelo tried to make on Salah when he missed, and Salah went on through and teed up Mane for the goal. This time, though, Milner does make the contact that João Cancelo intended to, and he brings him careering down to the floor.
Salah into Firmino in the box and then out of the box, and he can't get the ball out of his feet, but he breaks back to Fabinho, who hasn't been his normal self today, but there's been a few weird performances in there, really. Now Robertson out to left-hand side for Mane, and he's held up, but does a decent job holding the ball up. Hard to get round Walker, but he dinks the ball in, looking for the Brazilian Firmino. Mane has the ball back. He definitely has shown up today, and well, Milner's played a big part one way or another, and he's now trying to get forward. Ball played off Foden. It'll be just a throw for Liverpool, parallel with the edge of the area. If I'm Klopp, I wouldn't be taking a risk with Milner. You know, my other thought about that challenge you just made was I think he probably was bailed out by Henderson, was suggesting that Bernardo dived at that point. And I thought the only reason he did that was because he thought, oh, blimey, Milner might get sent off. Here comes Salah into the box, twists and he turns, and he gets away, and he gets a shot in. What a goal from Mo Salah! 2-1 to Liverpool. Where did he find that space? What an effort that is. Wow, as Gomez is about to come on, they all celebrate, including Milner, and I bet Gomez will come on pretty soon. And, well, Pep Guardiola can't believe that, but that was a quality goal, Bobby.
It's fantastic, isn't it? It's what Mohamed Salah does so well. He doesn't need space. He creates it for himself. Once he gets into the box, he twists and turns and then just delivers that shot so deadly across the face of goal. It was Jones who had started the move in an advanced area. Salah wriggled away from one, then a second. Into the box he goes, chops onto his right foot. That's what wrong foots Laporte. He's expecting Salah to want to go onto his favoured left, but he's happy to come onto his right angle sight, but it doesn't matter. Across the goal, just glances, kisses off the inside of that far post, but it's the fleet of foot from Salah that does all the hard work, and then he leaves the City defenders in his wake.
Well, that's a world-class goal from a top player, isn't it? Cynically, I'm thinking that Foden should really have just chopped him down when he had an opportunity. But that was brilliant, wasn't it? He wriggled around three, got past Laporte, and the finish was really strong. Guardiola's just got a yellow card. It's amazing how quickly a game can change. Imagine Milner gets that yellow card and, you know, Liverpool reduced. Bernardo Silva, it was booked apparently. I thought that Guardiola had been shown a yellow, but maybe he had as well, I don't know. All that going on in the aftermath of the goal, the Liverpool fans still celebrating, and now Gomez is on. Milner can't get sent off because he's no longer on the field. And that makes good common sense from Klopp.
Yeah, he's got to do that, hasn't he? I think he recognises the situation, that Milner's ridden his luck as long as possible, and he's got to get him off, especially now the fact that they're leading. He was going to make that change anyway. We saw Gomez was primed and ready to be introduced as Salah put it in the back of the net, but he cannot afford to take that gamble any longer. Milner puts a foot out of place, then he'd be off the pitch and Liverpool would be up against it.
Well, the game has swung this way and that. There might still be a sting in the tail, and who knows? I've done a 2-all draw today. Those things do happen, but for the moment, Liverpool in control. They've had a really good second half, haven't they? And they've never allowed City to dominate like they did in the first half. You'd have thought you were at the Etihad. They were the better team, Man City. Problem that they had going into the break at 0-0, having dominated, was where do you go from there? You know, you pat the team on the back and say go again. Liverpool had a lot to sort out. Would have been read the riot act, and they've come out all guns blazing second half, and wow, what a performance and what a goal. We talked about in the first half a Bernardo Silva dribble that, you know, would have got the super assist had the ball ended at the back of the net. Well, just cut off his Raheem Sterling into the box. He goes, puts the ball across, and it's just blocked away by Gomez ahead of Foden, looking for the finish. That Salah goal, it's going to be a contender for goal of the month, isn't it? You think he had so much work to do when he picked the ball up.
It's contender for goal of the season, I think. Never mind just goal of the month. It's going to take some beating that from an individual point of view, anyway.
Here comes City, the ball across, and Diaz heads it back into play, but straight back into the hands of Alisson Becker. Liverpool 2, Man City 1. 10 minutes left of regulation play. Pep Guardiola was furious, and I don't think that rage has abated too much. Anyway, 10 minutes to go, regulation play. Salah's back on the ball, and he gets it out with his feet. Cancelo's such a good player, isn't he? And he was man of the match last week against a great team. But I do think you take a gamble playing somebody wrong-footed as a fullback, and I think maybe those little bits and pieces of decisions come home to roost. But here's City in the box again. Kyle Walker, and then now with De Bruyne's shot comes in. What a shot from Kevin De Bruyne! City back in. Look at Guardiola, he's screaming, and what a screaming shot that was, Bobby.
What a 10 minutes we've got in store for us as well now. Liverpool 2, Manchester City 2. I'd love to see this again, because when that ball comes back from Foden, it was really good work from Foden to, once he receives this ball, decide I'm not going to be able to get beyond Gomez, I'm going to cut back and see what's available. He sees Walker. I don't know if Walker gets the shout and leaves that intentionally, or whether he does have a swing at this, but either way, when it falls to De Bruyne, what a strike. Bends it left-footed, it does come off a defender. I think it's going in anyway, even if Matip doesn't get there. The pace of the strike from De Bruyne, for me, probably beats Alisson, but that edge off the defender just completely takes it out the reach of Alisson and puts it back into the centre of the goal. Guardiola, as you say, on his feet. There was certainly a look towards the Liverpool bench as he celebrated that one, and we're all square again.
I'm not sure if the keeper wouldn't have got across and made a super save there. I think he'd read it. We knew it was coming. I mean, he did it hard, like you said, and took a big deflection. For a second, I thought he deflected off Raheem Sterling on the floor, but then you look again and you see that it's Matip's knee. Wow, what a game. And two champion teams, aren't they? Knocking lumps out of each other, really. Curtis Jones now lets the ball roll across his body. Not been his game today. Liverpool have been the better team the second half, but well, you can't keep a good team down, can you? And City have managed to drag their way back in. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Kyle Walker, but I've got to say, if you watch the run that he's made to get into the box, to step over the ball there, I don't know if even he gets a touch to deflect it further into path of Kevin De Bruyne. But I just said, well, wow, you know what I mean? I can't believe he's done that. He's sprinted 60 yards to get in the box. You're thinking, what are you doing, Kyle? But here he goes again. He's got the bit between his teeth. He's mad about something. Anyway, Jesus now on the ball, and he holds it off for Jones now with Bernardo. Again, cuts around 1-2, and he's brought down at points again today. Bernardo's been superb, hasn't he? And yellow card is shown, and that's Fabinho. Henderson couldn't get to him, and Fabinho just trips him.
from those standing starts, he's been really good, I think, today. Bernardo, when he's picked it up in a pocket of space, he's realised that he can turn, and once he then starts to build a bit of momentum, he's been able to weave in and out of players there, as you say, getting away from Henderson, and Fabinho ensuring that he wouldn't go any further. I think it's probably right on the limit, isn't it, of what you would consider realistic shooting range, this one. Bruyne has placed it down, but the angle doesn't really suit for a cross into the box, so Alisson is going to have to rely on his wall to do him a favour maybe if De Bruyne can find the target.
Yep, jeopardy here for Liverpool. But the roof came off when they were 2-1 up, but here's an opportunity, and that shot's still coming down. It wasn't the best. Well, we don't want to give him too much praise, do we, Carl Walker? Ever.
I mean, as you said before, I don't know if something has taken place that we've missed in this game, but you said Walker just looks as though he's got a bit of something to prove at the moment, getting forward to help out in that goal, and it's almost as if whatever he's got to prove, he's used that to convince De Bruyne, I should be the one to take this rather than you, who is our set-piece taker from a good spot at a crucial point in the match, and he's completely let his side down.
Well, he's been a colossus, hasn't he? I don't know what's got into him. Bernardo Silva's been like Franz Klammer today, hasn't he? Slalom skier. There have been some standout performances, and some have gone really quiet. It's funny, isn't it, when it's a game sprinkled with, you know, the best players in the world, really. Henderson's had a pretty good game today. Fabinho picks it up. Ball roll to Mo Salah. Cancelo don't want to get anywhere near him, and it allows Salah to cut and then flick the ball into the box, headed away by Laporte. Headed back where it came by Gomez, who is a bit more defensively sound, I would have said, than Milner. Ball up in the air again. Jones fights for it, heads it up in the air, but he's second best there. Needs to be helped out, and he will get helped out by Firmino, and then not for the first time today, Mane brought down, this time by Jesus.
It doesn't look as though there's going to be a booking for Jesus. I think that possibly was an honest enough attempt at a challenge. He's coming from the wrong side, but maybe thought he could just get across there before that ball was bouncing across the path of Mane, and gives away the free kick.
Liverpool then on the ball. It's 2-apiece at Anfield, and second half has been great. 4 goals in it, and high drama as Bernardo, did he trip Mo Salah there? Referee Paul Tierney reckons it was so. And if it was so, and if he was tripped, does he get a yellow card for that? He's telling Bernardo to calm down.
Well, he's on a card, isn't he, Bernardo Silva?
Well, what's Guardiola feel about that? Let's take a look at Klopp's face then. But do you know what? You can't argue. It's the same thing as Milner, because it was baffling that he didn't get a second yellow and get sent off. I don't think Paul Tierney's had a good game, really, but anyway. Liverpool into the box, an opportunity. The ball breaks here. Oh, what a block! Was that Laporte blocking or Diaz? I'm not sure. Could have been Rodri even, but I tell you what, he saved a goal. Fabinho's in there. It all opens up for him. You think, open goal. Go on. And then somewhere out of the corner of his eye, you can see a little bit of blue sliding towards him. What a block that was. I think it was Rodri, wasn't it?
Yeah, you're right, it was Rodri. And you just think there, if that's a Salah or a Mane, do they hit it first time when that lands at their feet? He takes that touch just to set himself, and by the time he puts it onto his right foot and then tries to get the shot away, it's colossal defending from Rodri to launch himself across with that right foot and just block it away. Oh, I thought that was it then. Liverpool were grabbing a third.
It all opened up, didn't it? Like you said, if he had a left foot on him. But in the end, he's trying to get it on his right. The clearance there from Robertson didn't really work out. So ball goes back. Van Dijk, Matip. I haven't seen too much of the ball second half. Gomez now goes back to Alisson, who now finds Van Dijk. And he pings a long ball, too long, and it goes straight to Ederson. There could still be a sting in the tail for one of the two teams as Bernardo now is on the ball. It's amazing how quickly he cuts, what feet he's got. It'd be great to be as good as Bernardo Silva, wouldn't it? Playing five-a-side with you mates, they'd never have the ball off you. Good ball into the box, Raheem Sterling now, chance to turn, little heel from him. Can he find De Bruyne? It comes off his knee. And that goes out. I think the rain's coming down at Anfield.
Yeah, nice idea from Sterling. Lovely ball from Jesus just to put him into the box, but back to goal there. He's then got to come up with something to find a teammate. De Bruyne was looping beyond him. Just all got a little bit too tight there with the defenders getting back as well. And have to credit Liverpool for making sure there wasn't that space for City to play it.
Well, maybe the title's not going to get sorted out in this one game. But this does tell us a little bit about how close the teams are matched. I don't think there's much between them. Liverpool now with Henderson, and then Mane's had a good game and he drives forward. Rodri comes and challenges him, and it's a good challenge this time. Gomez now tries to get there. A good challenge by Cancelo. He goes barreling forward, and they've got 4 against 4 if they can use the ball quickly enough. Foden now onto the ball, looking for Raheem Sterling. It's a poor ball, and Van Dijk will clear that one away.
Yeah, he's made the wrong choice there, Foden. Once it went out wide to him, I think he just had to be a bit more patient with it. We know City are really good with those cutback balls towards the penalty spot. Let Sterling make the run towards goal and open up space for others potentially. Liverpool were on the hop, weren't they? They were scrambling to get back into position, and I think that could have been played much better.
Kyle Walker chips the ball over the top, never his strong suit, long-range passing really. I was just think he should give it short, and usually not go over the halfway line. But he did play his part in that equalising goal. Mo Salah named man of the match.
Joint man of the match.
Oh, with Phil Foden, but
not seen that before.
No, never. I think that's pretty fair, really.
Yeah.
There've been some decent performances. Again, Bernardo's done some great things, but not necessarily defended as strongly as he did against Chelsea. Jones has been very quiet, hasn't he, today? But he steps away from the challenge of Raheem Sterling there. Robertson. Ball to Fabinho. I think Mane's played pretty well. He's Matip on the ball. Again, Mo Salah. But his goal will live long in the memories. He hurdles one challenge and then Bernardo plays it off him. Salah does the miracle there of keeping the ball in play. And Cancelo finds Foden. He wants to step around Gomez, but he can only find Matip. Ball now straightening up for Liverpool. Henderson thinks he should have got a foul, but he breaks now to De Bruyne, who's got Raheem Sterling. He puts him into space inside the box. Has he got a finish? Cuts back on the inside. Matip is there with him. Finds the ball for a shot that comes in, and Jesus' shot was straight into the backside of Robertson. Maybe could have brought that down and given himself a better opportunity there. But that could have been it, couldn't it?
I thought that pass from De Bruyne really let Sterling down. There was so much space in behind there, and we know the pace that Sterling's got. He's got the beating of Matip at this late stage of the match. Just put it out into his path. He played it to feet. Sterling then had to control with Matip on his shoulder and then try and gather the pace, but just let him open his legs up first and then go and think about it afterwards. It all slowed and they lost momentum. I think that was poor from De Bruyne.
Long ball from Fabinho, but he can't find Mo Salah this time. Yeah, there may be a few bits more drama yet, because we've got about 3 minutes left. We're into 4 minutes of added time, as Bernardo's over the halfway line. Little shimmy and a turn from him. But then Firmino picks his pocket now at Salah, and Bernardo now has got to defend. Salah runs him deep, but then he's held up by Laporte. He's forced to go backwards. Henderson now ball into the middle for Fabinho. He can drive forward now. Oh, he's asking way too much of himself. City win the ball back. Now with Foden. He digs it to Raheem Sterling. That's brilliant play from him. And he wriggles around the challenges of two. He can find De Bruyne. He's got Jesus with him on the right-hand side. De Bruyne now. Look at Kyle Walker bobbing on there. Oh, it's brilliant. Anyway, Liverpool now on the counter-attack. Kyle Walker's not at home, is he? And but again, Man City on the ball. Rodri settles down, finds Jesus. Well, it's absolutely rip-roaring this game, and City have had their chances, haven't they? Looking to wrap the game up and get this late goal. They've had 2 really good chances there.
They have. Just looking at De Bruyne and Sterling a second ago as well, both were bent over and seemed as though they were struggling a little bit. I don't know if they picked up knocks. De Bruyne obviously started the game. He might just be out of gas. Sterling potentially has picked up a bit of a niggle. But yeah, they've given so much both sides, haven't they? I think City will come away, if it is a draw, kicking themselves a little bit that they didn't make the most of that first half. But the second half in particular has been fantastic from a neutral point of view.
Corner kick now for Man City. Flighted ball over the top, was just creased off the head of Mo Salah. Cancelo it was, who was making that darting run. A minute left, but it's a corner kick now for the citizens. What have they got? They've got big men, haven't they? Diaz, Laporte, Rodri. You know, can De Bruyne find the right delivery? Right-footed, in swinging from the left-hand side. And a real opportunity now. You know, Van Dijk, Matip, Firmino, Gomez, all in there. They can't beat the first man. Shocking corner that from De Bruyne. They've got half a minute left now. Man City is still with the ball at the edge of the area. Again to Foden. Foden blams that ball in. Initially it's blocked by Robertson out on the wrong side for him. City have it back, but then Salah comes to help out. And we're nearing in on the end of the game as Foden then running past Henderson. And then a poor touch from Cancelo on his left foot down that left-hand side. And that should probably be enough for Tierney now. Our referee waiting. Gomez has got a throw. A cracking game, really. And it'll be the first game you see on Match of the Day tonight. I'd be interested to find out the pundits' thoughts on the Milner sending off. Big hug between Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp. That's nice to see. What a game of football that was, Bobby. You know, two apiece. And yeah, just a wow of a game, really. But in the end, all the goals the second half for Liverpool, Mane and Salah, for Man City, Foden and De Bruyne.